Hola, to the brain. Here we've got another training session, this time pronunciation. And I'm going to talk you through how to get the emphasis correct every time when you're saying words in European Portuguese, which will give you loads more confidence and make you be able to understand a lot better what people are saying as well. So, what's it all about? We need to start up by breaking the words down into syllables, very similar to how we do it in English. So if we look at the 8-letter word happiness, we're not dealing with the letters in pronunciation, but the chunks of syllables. So happiness, for example, that's what's important. Coming from English, we often get confused because the vowels A, E, I, O, U can be very tricky. O and O go oo, there's E and I, there's OU, there's E at the end. We get very confused about this, so we tend to go into a bit of a panic when we come across these vowels in Portuguese. But basically, just separate them out. Treat them as completely different syllables and say them as you would the individual letters. So, for example, poema, boa, alcohol, dia, rio, lua. Okay? Now, there's some common vowel combinations. I've put them here in order of popularity. So the sound A is spelt EI, like in the word maneira. So that is always pronounced that way. The sound I is spelt AI, like in the word mais. The sound oi is spelt OI, like in noite. The sound au is spelt AU, as in pausa. The sound o is spelt OU, as in estou. Okay? By learning these, that'll really help you. I find rather than learning the letter combinations, learn yourself one word that is your key words that you can always go back to as a reference. Now, if we see any accentuation on a syllable and we've got two together, what does that mean? It means they're definitely separate. And this is great because it means there's no exceptions to rules. We can apply these rules confidently and know that anything that's different has an accent on. So these words here could be confusing, but the accents help us. So we've got things like país, saúde, chapéu, saída. Okay, more on accents in a minute. Now, you have a go. Let's practice separating up these words. I've given you some long words. I've given you some words here with vowel combinations to practice separating the vowels up. And the last one there has got combined vowels there. Okay, and I've given you the example. Felicidade. Remember, consonants cannot be pronounced by themselves. They need a vowel to enable you to pronounce them. Vowels, however, can be by themselves. Okay, you had a go? Let's see. What have we got? Continent, convenient, diabo, viola, peixe. Okay, is that okay? I would argue for some of these letters could slide, these consonants could end up going into the previous syllables. I wouldn't say that was wrong at all. We all talk slightly differently, don't we? But as long as you've got the overall, then you should be good there. Okay, so that's the syllables. Now we need to work out where the stress part of the word is. Every word has one stress part, one part that's heavier. This gives the rhythm to the words. Example is in English the word holiday. Okay, we always say holiday, not holiday, holiday, holiday. Okay. If I said to you, I'm going on holiday next week, might take you a little bit, few moments to register exactly what I'm saying. this is what's happening a lot of the time with learners of Portuguese. You're saying the right word, you're pronouncing it all correctly in its components, but you're putting the emphasis in the wrong place and making the listener work very hard. So, how do we do the stress? We can break the words down into syllables and listen, or we can apply some rules, some patterns. Unlike English, there's very strict patterns that all the words obey, which is great. How do I know? So normally we're going to go for the penultimate. That means next to last syllable. Specifically, that means words ending in A, AS, E, ES, O, OS, AM, EM, ANS, and ENS. All these soft vowel sound endings. So we go to the end and back one is what I say. So it looks like it's moving around through the words, but in fact, it's always end and back one. So we get casa, homem, sapatos, tapete, favorito. Okay? So I would say, as a rough estimate, this is about 80% of the words. Okay? So very big group of words here. Now, all the words that we looked at in the previous exercise end in vowels. So let's practice with these ones. Where is the emphasis going to be? I'll use some clues here. Okay? There we go. Felicidade, continente, conveniente, diabo, viola, peixe. Okay? Did you hear how this bit is very, very long compared to the rest of the word? That really is a characteristic of European Portuguese. That's the words don't have equal rhythm for the syllables. It's like you run all the way through the syllables, and when you get to the emphasis one, you stay there for a while, and then the ending, it's a little soft ending there. Okay, makes it very different to Spanish and Italian, and it's one of the reasons why learners struggle with hearing the language and pronouncing the words correctly. Okay, so what about the other words? Now, we'll have words ending in consonants, and they would be L, R, or Z, or we might have these harder vowels, which are E, in, U, un. Okay, and the plurals of those. In these cases, we stress the last syllable. Okay, so hotel, comer, compreender, rapaz, partir, Peru. Okay, so straight to the end there. Okay, what you're saying, is there no words that don't obey these rules? Yeah. And what happens is there is an accent there on above the vowel where the emphasis is to tell you that that part needs to be emphasized. I'm always saying accents are our friends. They help us immensely with pronunciation, and this is great, really helps us. There's a handful of words that will have two accents. This one here, the 2 o'clock, and then they might have the teal as well. In this case, then the 2 o'clock one trumps the teal. That's where the accent is. Okay. So we end up with things like água, retângulo, secretário, estação, extraordinário. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Let's have a practice. Here's some words. I've given you felicidade. There's the example there. You have a go and see. Can you work out where the emphasis is according to these rules? So first of all, we look, is there any accents? So number 2, no accents there. We look at the last letter, remembering these vowels are going to be separate, so we'll go one back there. Number 3, no accents. We'll go to the end, remembering the vowels are separate. 4, we'll go to the end because there's no accents and it ends in R. Number 5, can you see that accent on the I in the middle there? Sometimes tricky to see. And number 6, there's an accent there. So we end up with felicidade, pessoa, cereal, divertir, família, English. That's it. Simple as that. So summary. Separate your words into syllables, remembering about the vowels being pronounced separately. Learn those 5 main groups. Look for accentuation. That is going to help you if it's there. And you're looking at things above the letters. If there's no accent, go to the end, the final letter. Normally you've got a vowel there, so you'll emphasize the penultimate syllable. If you've got a consonant, emphasize the end as a rough and ready guide. Okay, so